All right, so y'all know that the only person I let braid my hair is my little sister in New York. I have tried braiders here in the city where I live, and it has been hit or miss. I have been through it, honey. So, since she is not here and I can't get there, and I've been working out like crazy, I figured it was time for me to DIY it with a twist. I no longer have the energy or the stamina to braid my own hair. My head is entirely too big and I have entirely too much hair. I also have entirely too much to do in my life. So what I'm going to do is I am going to box braid the perimeter and cornrow the interior, pull them box braids up into a bun and keep it cute. It's gonna look like I got a head full of braids, but I ain't. Come with me. Let's do this. So I started by parting my sections out for the front and the back. My hair was still partially damp. I washed it, I deep conditioned it, I bantu knotted it, and then I worked out. So, of course, my head was sweating, which is precisely why I need my hair braided. And that little section in the middle is the section that's going to be cornrowed. I know you probably like, why not just put box braids there? But I swear, that seems to be the section where you end up with 50 million braids. It seems to always take the longest, and I just don't want a huge bun on the top of my head. So I started with the front right side. It looks like the left in the camera. And I'm doing medium size braids. I don't care about knots, so this won't be knotless. And I'm using the full length of the synthetic braiding hair. And I split each piece of that beach wave hair into 3 parts and added 1 part per braid just on the first 2 rows of each side and on the first 1 row in the back. Once I added the beach wave hair into the braid, I pulled out one section and then I braided down further and pulled out another section. And I just changed up the point at which I added the beach wave hair into the braid so that they would fall at different points along the braid. And I did this more for fullness of the bun and so that I could leave 1 or 2 pieces hanging out. Obviously, I never plan to wear this hair down. And here is the process in real time of me attaching the braiding hair and me getting the braids started. Obviously, I am braiding under to get the braids started, probably about 6 or 7 strokes, and then flipping the braid over and braiding underhanded so that I can bring my hands down from over my head. And then adding in the beach wave hair as I see fit. I braid the beach wave hair in for a few strokes and then I pull a piece out and unfortunately hold it with my mouth because if I was doing somebody else's hair, I would like hook it to a comb or a clip or something, but I can't do all of that while I'm doing my own hair, okay? Judge your mammy, mind your business. And then I braid a few more strokes down, anywhere from 5 to 10 or even 15, before I pull the second leg of that beach wave hair out. And it is not difficult to do. Just pull it out and hold it away from the braid so that it doesn't accidentally get reincorporated back into the braid. And once I've braided down far enough, I can let those pieces go that I'm holding with my mouth because I don't have to worry about them getting reincorporated back into the braid. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And then I braid all the way down to the end, mostly. And that's the first row. Finito. Now we're going to go into the second row and then I'm going to speed things up because nobody wants to see each and every row being completed. You already know what it looks like. You already know what it is. I am bricklaying those braids. So I did pull a section from that row out and wrap it around that middle part. Started at 7. It's 8:23. This is where we are. We have sectioned this off. We've only added hair to the braids on the first 2 rows because, as we said, all of this is going to be up in a bun. So we'll just have some of those curly pieces hanging down, some hanging out of the bun. We don't need a bunch of curly pieces, okay? Boom. Time for a break. Okay, so we took about a 15-minute break, came back to it, and this is where we are at 9:40. Right, so it is 11:15. All of the front is done, and it is time for another break, and then we are going to do the back. Now, this is how my front is always parted. And this is how I part anybody's front if they want a side part. If they're going with a middle part, then of course I do the other parting style. So here we are with one row done in the back. As you can see, my parts are not perfect, and that's okay with me. I use my camera and my mirror to get the part remotely straight, and that'll do it. I'm more concerned that the roll is the same thickness all the way across, and I'll pull it apart and look at it and touch it to see, and then adjust as needed. So we have the second row parted out, and I'm satisfied. Thumbs up. And the second row in the back is done, and we are now going to part our third row. I am matching that row up with the first row in the front on both sides. And then I am parting out a section on the sides of that middle part so that I'm able to hide that cornrow. And those sections are too big, so I'll finalize them when I finish braiding that third row. Third row is complete, and now it is time to cornrow that middle section. Now this cornrow ended up being huge, but child, I was tired. If necessary, I will go back and add a fourth row and or go back and make this cornrow smaller. But that's the joy of having the cornrow in the middle. I can go back and re-cornrow it anytime I feel like. But anywho, I cornrow it in one oval, and yes, I do go up and down with my hands behind my head. I do not care about the parts being straight or even how flat the cornrow is. But I did go and add that beach wave hair to the ends of that cornrow. And we are done. Finish time is 2:30. Alrighty. So now we just need to take care of our scalp with a little bit of this here. I absolutely love that stuff. It stops your scalp from itching. It keeps you from having dandruff. And it also has this wonderful cooling sensation. So if your head is sore or whatever from the braid style, it literally just cools your scalp. And if you put too much, you're going to have chills most of the night, like I did, because I definitely put way too much. But baby, it felt good. And now to mousse. Since I decided not to dip the braids, I had to make sure that the braids were completely moussed, not just where my hair was in the braid, but the entire braid, including that synthetic beach wave hair. And baby, those braids was tight. It's like I braided my brain cells, especially that first row. OMG. And now the proof is in the pudding. We putting this up in that ponytail. I forgot to grab a ponytail holder, so I'm just using one of the braids to pull it up. And this is what it looks like. The cornrows are not detectable. Now that parting in the back is a little suspect, but it'll be all right. That's that on that. I'm going to bed. Deuces.